Hello everybody, welcome to a new video of Jane's Speed Shop. Today we're going to talk about the front wheel bearings. And so this will be a separate video without the brake setup because I got an issue with the bearing I want to show you. So you can check for yourself before you're going to install it if it's right. There's a problem with the dust cap, I'm going to show you that. So if you're new to the channel, this is about my W124 VA turbo project. So I'm rebuilding the suspension parts. If you're new to the channel, in the right corner is my logo, click on it, you can go to my main page, subscribe, also look in the playlist for the videos before this one. What I also did this week is put the engine on the stand. So I use a different stand than most people are using. I just don't like the idea to having the engine mounted on the bell housing side. I just think it's unnecessarily, by my feeling. So I used two stands, made one of it, and the mounting is on the block itself where normally the engine mounts are. So if I want to turn it, of course, it's not possible because the heads are in the way. So I cannot flip it over completely. I don't think it's really necessary. Yeah, maybe if you're going to change everything. But I think when the heads are off, when the cylinder heads are off, you can get the bottom half off. I don't know how it's on the original ones, but yeah, I can always change this setting to the back. So let's go to start with the video then about the wheel bearings. Let's go. But I had an issue with the wheel bearing. I will show you that later on. I bought another set before I used this set. This set is from ABS. And there is an issue with the dust cap. I will show you that when I got it out. But it has to do with this backing ring that's in here. That ring. That is pushing on the cage of the bearing. And then your bearing is getting stuck. So I already removed one side out of it. And you can see the space underneath here. This is also where the wheel bearing will go out. But this, you see, there's already a lot of space. And still the ring. So what is happening? This is the inner bearing. You see the cage ring. That's the outer ring. That needs to be turning like this. Also, when it's in there, you should be able to turn the bearing. This is mounted like this in there. So when it's turning and you push this one, hit it too far in, normally that should not be a possibility, but it can be, then this outer ring is stuck. That is now the case. So, and then you cannot turn the inner ring like this. That should not be the case. So that's the problem with this. I will show you how that works. So I bought an SKF bearing now, and already what I've seen from the older ones is this ring is much far further in than the one I used before. I think this is the one I already look. This ring is much higher. You can see it's already bent in. So the other one is like, if you see the difference, that's not good. This is a new one. I bought this. This is a new. Now not anymore. But this one was in there before. So I'm going to dismantle this one also, because this is an old one. I just want to change it to be sure. I don't think it's bad, but yeah, I want to start fresh. That's why I'm doing that. So this has just been assembled again after that I coated and derusted the bottom side. So this cap, it's pretty easy to remove. Underneath, have a look, where is my Allen key? Here. There's the bearing that puts pressure on the two bearings inside. You can just, I think this is already loosened because I just dismantled it by hand, or assembled it by hand. Just remove this. Always be careful with the thread on those ends. Then there is like a washer Then there's the first small bearing. Then normally you then can just pull it off like this. Okay, put this aside. Then in here is a small part of the bearing, and then there is a bushing pressed in where this bearing is rolling on. This one is not that bad, I think, but I just going to change it. On the other side, I have to clean this. Look, this is how it should be. I hope you can see this. I can just turn the bearing by hand. This is how it should be. So now I'm going to remove that one and show you what is the difference. So this is the old bearing. This is how it should be. This is a newly installed bearing, and I could turn it until I pressed in the bushing. Look, this cannot be turned. It's just stuck. This is not how it should be. So I'm going to remove everything that's in here, and I hope this will still be a little bit intact, and show you with the other one that how it should be. So you can see, I hope you can see that this is about 2 mil out. This is 1 or less. This is how it should be. So, remove the cap, and now you can see the difference, and I'm going to call that company that's selling this kit, because this is just, I fucked up now 2 bearings. This is not how it should be, and it should be like this. You can see the difference. Look, this ring needs to be much more inwards. This is how it should be, and this is how it is. That's just not normal. So I'm going to change the bearing again, because I don't know how much damage it has done to this side. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's pressing on the inner ring. So I'm going to change it. This is just not how it should be. So I can throw it away. It's another 30 euros for a bearing. I'm first going to make a telephone call to that company, because this is not how it should be. So you will see the next frame of pressing the inner bushings out and then pressing them back in. And we're going to show you what it is. So you get a bearing set. This is how you get it delivered. It's in one package. You get the outer ring. This is the ring that's in here. You press it in, and then it's rolling like this. This is how it should be. And for the other side, you have a small one. That's still in the package. This is this. It's still in the package, same, but it's just smaller. So, let's start. So new ring, the other one I leave in there because there was nothing wrong with it. It's only the back one that I'm worried about, but the process is the same. Hammer it out, clean the inside, no grease, everything out of it. And then press this piece back in. I always use a cleaned old inner ring to not damage the top and make sure there are no bad spots on it. Just place it on there. You can also hammer it in. I have a hydraulic press. Just press it in until the pressure is going stable upwards, and then you know it's in there. So that's what I'm going to do. This is the bearing. It goes over here. Now I'm going to measure, because now I want to make sure that it's right. The dust cap needs to go in like this. It just shows you that there needs to be some space like this one, not like the old one. And normally, how much space do we have? This is like 9.5 mil. Have a look, how much is this? 9.5 mil. This is 12. So it's 3.5. This needs to be more in there than 3.5 mil. And this is 4. So normally you have a 0.5 millimeter play when you press this in completely. So I didn't have that. So if I press this in now, take a look. You should be able to do this. So what I'm going to do now first, put some grease in there and show you that it can still move. So I use this, not an advertisement, but Ceron XM220. It's an industrial grease for bearings and all kinds of stuff. High temperatures for 300 degrees. Also water resistant. So very good for something. Normally you should not have any water in here, but I always grease the inside also a little bit. There's a spot where normally, then it can flow a little bit if it's needed, but you should not do that. So I also grease this ring, then I also grease the bearing. Make sure your gloves are clean, otherwise you get all kind of dirt in there. So, this is going in here. Look, I can still turn it like it should be, and by hand. Now I'm going to put the dust cap in, the dust cap. Now first I'm going to do, put some grease on the top here, a little bit. The rest I will clean off later. I don't use the hydraulic press for this because maybe that's going too hard. I first put the wooden block over top, on top. Rubber hammer. Check, can I still turn it? Yes. I don't toss anything anymore now, so. can still turn it. This is how it should be. This is how it needs to be. Still turning. It's completely in and I can still turn it. So the other one was just a failure. I'm fully sure now. So clean the grease off a little bit. So how does it work? So this is the old one, but to show you. You got a bearing. This is the back bearing. It goes over here, completely to the end, like this. The inner side is not turning, as you can see. How does it work? There will be pressure applied on this side, on the wheels, and the pressure will be on the back ring and the back side of the hub. That's how it works. And the other bearing, this is the old one, that will be here. This is how it is when it's installed. That's it. So the top piece, I will just use the old one, or the old one. It was already a new one, but I'm sure just the bottom one I didn't trust because I hammered out the ring and that sort of stuff. So I put some grease in here so it will have a nice housing. This is still good. I already greased this one because it was already in there. So you put it in, this in there. Nice. Put a little bit of grease on it. Then we have the ring. On there. The nuts. Two sides, have a look which side you need. There's a Mercedes star on the front that needs to go to the top. So I always turn this by hand and try to have a look how heavy it goes. Normally if you put some tension on it, it will go settle itself. Never use a wrench or something to get the tension at the right spot. I think you always over tighten it. So I think this needs to be by hand tightened. This is good enough, there is no play. Always check it when you mount it on the car with a wheel on it. Feel if you got any play on it. So this is good. So I'm very happy. This bearing is much better than the old one. So tighten the Allen key. That's it. Put some grease in it. Don't fill it up completely. Cap is all new grease in it. What's left I already cleaned it because I already used it. So this one you just put on. I always use the old one because the new ones are bigger. Yeah, I don't know why, but it is. I will use this. This is still in good condition. Where's the hammer? That's it. So, it's always good to check out your parts when you're mounting it. I came to the conclusion that something was wrong with the dust cap. I put the photos below the video or on my website jamesspeedshop.com, so have a look over there. So I wanted to do this video including with the brakes and the calipers, but I think it's too long, so I will separate it. So the next video will be about the front brake caliper, how to assemble it, what parts you need and stuff. So that will be pretty cool, I think. So for now, thanks for watching. If you got any questions about this wheel bearing setup, leave some comments below the video or ask me through the contact form on my website jamesspeedshop.com. Don't hesitate to ask. Put a thumbs up if you like it. If you got any questions, I will hear from you. So thanks for watching. See you from the next video. Bye bye.